September 2024 could become a key moment globally. With a powerful Mars and Ketu square and a lunar eclipse, we are entering a time when all structures could be shaken and global tensions might rise. This energetic constellation could bring not only personal changes, but also dramatically influence world events. International relations, political power struggles, and unexpected twists in global conflicts could play a central role in the coming weeks. It is a time of upheaval and challenges, where on a collective level many questions arise. Where do we as humanity need change, and how can we break old patterns to forge new paths? But before we dive deeper, a warm welcome on my YouTube channel. My name is Sylvia Suryodaya Group. I'm a Vedic astrologer, and if you want a regular astrological update for the most important cosmic influences, feel free to sign up for my free newsletter, where I share a lot of information every week with you. The link is right below this video. And before we dive deeper into the month of September and what the energies mean for the individual countries, let's look back at August. What has come true from my predictions for August? And yes, we are not quite at the end of August yet, so some things are still unfolding. I had predicted a financially difficult period for the world and especially the USA, with ups and downs, and there was a significant downturn in the stock market. The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq saw notable losses in August 2024, leading to increased market volatility. These declines resulted to a period of increased nervousness on the markets, characteristic by a weak US job market and economic policy decisions. Also, my prediction for China and Taiwan came true. Tension with Taiwan were a central issue in August. China conducted large-scale military exercises in response to Taiwan's growing independence efforts and its close ties to the USA. On August the 19th, the media reported air and naval exercises around Taiwan, with Chinese planes and ships entering Taiwan's air defense zone. And also my prediction about restricted communication and increased surveillance was also confirmed by the strict control over the media and the population in China. In August, restricted reporting and the flow of information was there, and especially in relation to foreign policy tensions and military activities. Unfortunately, my prediction for Israel also came true, particularly in terms of tensions with neighboring countries and military activities. In August, Israel faced massive tensions, especially due to rocket attacks from Palestinian groups and Hezbollah from Lebanon. These attacks, as well as Israel's reaction, led to an escalated situation in which many people on both sides lost their lives. But now let's see what special energy September brings. The month of September begins with the transit of Mars at the end of August into the sign of Gemini. Mars is positioned in the lunar mansion Mikrashira. This is a lunar mansion of Mars itself. And I'm speaking of Vedic astrology. This is a totally other system than the Western astrology. Very important to know. So we have lunar mansions, and Mikrashira is a lunar mansion of Mars, which brings a lot of fiery energy. And Mars always represents drive, determination, and also aggressive behavior. But in Gemini, it revolves around the search for knowledge and brings also discussions which can often lead to heated debates. And this could manifest both on an individual and global level, increasing tension in how information is exchanged. It is a time when people and nations may forcefully and sometimes aggressively defend their opinions. And this can lead to impulsive actions, and diplomacy is not particularly strong during this period, and an escalation in international relations is almost certain. This is particularly true between China and the USA, but more on this later in the country horoscopes. Mars in Gemini can also bring advances in new technologies, but it also points to increased cyber attacks, technical disruptions, and manipulative media campaigns. It is a time to be especially watchful about what the media presents to us. Mikrashira carries restless energy and the fiery energy of Mars in an air sign like Gemini usually brings challenges. Additionally, from September the 1st, planet Uranus will go retrograde in the sign of Taurus in connection with the fixed star Algol, which also played a significant role during the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. And I made an extra video about this topic. If you haven't seen the video, watch it now. Retrograde Uranus means it intensifies the energy of Uranus and makes it more powerful. And this in the conjunction with this very demonic and very dangerous fixed star Algol, this is not an easy energy. Uranus is seen as a planet of sudden changes, upheavals, and unexpected disruptions. It brings surprises that shakes existing structures, both on a personal and a collective level. And in the sign of Taurus, where Uranus is at this time, this is an earth sign that represents stability, security, and the material things. And Uranus points to an unstable earth. This really could bring more earth catastrophes and earthquakes and volcanoes, outbreaks, and other natural disasters. Another topic connected to Algol concerns positions of leadership and the loss of personal power. Algol may give power, but it always takes it away. But we should not forget that our true power lies in us, and nothing can take our true power away. But we often only think when it's about power that we should have power about the control of other people. But that is always an illusion. But that's another topic. So next we will have a new moon on September the 3rd at 16.52 degrees in the sign of Leo. And this will bring an interesting and powerful energy. It takes place in the lunar mansion Purva Falguni. This is a lunar mansion ruled by Venus. These are strong, creative, and sensual energies, focused on relationships, romance, and pleasure. Since Saturn is exactly in the opposite house, there will likely be challenges. much may be questioned on the relational level. Saturn brings a sober sense of reality and tests things that are not based on a solid foundation. Saturn also reminds us that we are responsible for our own happiness and fulfillment. On the global stage, this energy is linked to leadership, authority, and power, governments and power structures. There could be conflicts regarding power interests. As I said, more on that later in the country horoscopes. Tension on a global level in relationships and a lack of diplomacy are possible with these energies. Saturn calls upon leaders to take more responsibility and truly serve the well-being of humanity. But this could be a great challenge. This could also bring things to light that show where this is not happening. Jupiter and Venus will be in an exact trine on September the 15th. And this energy brings abundance and growth on one hand, but also challenges on the other. Venus often feels restricted in Virgo, as the sign brings an analytical and critical energy that can inhibit Venus' natural abilities of love and enjoy and pleasure. And Jupiter represents wisdom and expansion, and in this connection with the influence of Mars as the ruler of the lunar mansion of both of Jupiter and Venus, this can add an additional dynamic. Mars demands action and aggressive behavior, which can lead to inner tensions between the desire for harmony, Venus, and the need to accomplish something or to fight against something. That's the energy of Mars. So it's about a balance between subtle tensions and finding harmony between different forces to generate creative and positive energies. Then we have the Mars-Ketu square, and this is known in astrology for its intense and often chaotic energies. The event will take place on the 16th and 17th September, shortly before the lunar eclipse, which makes it even more significant. And this energy can lead to impulsive, rash, and headless actions. The fact that Ketu will be very close to the degree of the April lunar eclipse, this indicates that old issues or unresolved tensions from this time could resurface. Lunar eclipses have a karmic significance and tend to stir up deep, often suppressed energies. Events that occur during an eclipse often have long-term effects and could be reactivated now. And this is connected with the next significant energy shift, and this is the full moon, which will also be a partial lunar eclipse on September the 18th, at 1 degree in the sign of Pisces in the lunar mansion Purva Bhadrapada. This time will be marked by strong transformative energies. The lunar mansion Purva Bhadrapada stands for deep inner processes where it is about letting go of the old. And at the same time, Neptune and the North Node Rahu are positioned in the lunar mansion Uttara Bhadrapada. And this is a lunar mansion ruled by Saturn, but strongly connected to Purva Bhadrapada. And this means that secrets may come to light, and unfortunately the possibility of another pandemic could be associated with these energies. And I made an extra video about maybe the possibility of a pandemic or a fake pandemic. And you can watch this video. It's important to focus more and more on what really matters in your life and take responsibility for your own life. The energies are already preparing for the upcoming solar eclipse on October the 2nd and are building up. And the lunar eclipse is setting the stage for something new to come. For the annular ring-shaped solar eclipse on October the 2nd, I will make a special video explaining the theme it will bring. But now let's see what the energies of September mean for the individual countries. And we will take a look at the USA, Russia, Ukraine, Israel, and Iran. These are all countries that are more or less in the spotlight. And if you want to know more about your own country, you can be part of my heart community, my membership, and there you can ask me personal questions. And I will also set a link for this membership below this video. For the USA, the transit of Mars into the sign of Gemini will be highly significant. It's the house of the opponents, the 7th house, and there we find in the horoscope of the USA the Sun, Jupiter, Venus, and Mars. Very fiery energies that Mars encounters, which will further escalate the chaotic election campaign. We will see how this will play out, but Mars will also aspect the 10th house of leadership, and there we have Ketu, and in the horoscope of the USA also Saturn, and this is not easy. It will also trigger the position of the leader, the president itself, and also when Mars will be in the transit over the Sun in the sign of Gemini, this will also trigger this position. And we will see how these energies will play out. It is as if chaos will not only increase on the national level, also on the international level, with challenges involving China and other countries, but also promote military conflicts that could further escalate chaos within the USA itself. We will see how this will play out. Xi Jinping, the president of China, has also a lot of planets in the sign of Gemini and triggers his horoscope. And the leader of a country stands also for the country itself. And this will bring also more problems with China. And the lunar eclipse will happen for the USA on September the 18th in the 4th house, together with Neptune and Rahu. And this indicates a phase in which the country could experience strong emotional and social upheavals, and maybe a kind of civil war. We will see how this will play out. It could be a time of revelations, confusion, or collective disillusions, but also an opportunity for deep spiritual and emotional awakening. Political and social tensions could intensify, particularly concerning domestic security, national resources, and the overall stability of the country. Now let's take a short look what it means for Russia, as this country is also undergoing significant transformative processes. For Russia, Mars shifts into the 12th house in the national horoscope, the sign of Gemini, and this could indicate a period in which Russia is confronted with hidden conflicts, secret actions, and covert operations. This suggests that September might not look favorable for the military confrontation with the Ukraine. The lunar eclipse on September the 18th will happen in the 9th house for Russia. And there is also Mars. And this suggests that Russia might act more aggressively in international affairs during this time. This is not easy, and hopefully that Russia will take the right decisions. For the Ukraine, the astrological energies in September are not easy because they represent a decisive and possibly challenging phase. Mars transits there in the horoscope in the 6th house, and the 6th house represents conflicts, challenges, enemies, and debts. And Mars is a trigger, brings significant activation there. And while Mars provides the strength to defend against enemies in the 6th house, it also brings immense destructive power. And there is also Ketu. Ketu, which governs Ukraine's supporters and allies. And so it is possible that key partners may scale back their support. This is reflected in the recent developments where Germany decided to significantly reduce military spending for the Ukraine. So this is not as easy. In addition, the recent conviction of an Ukrainian behind the destruction of the Nord Stream pipeline has raised further concerns. It is suspected that the Ukrainian president may have been aware of these plans in advance. This has further shaken confidence in the Ukrainian leadership, which could lead to dwindling support from international partners. These developments could present Ukraine with additional diplomatic challenges. And I spoke in the last month about the 8th house in the horoscope of the Ukraine. This is the sign of Leo, and there we have also a lot of planets, and they are all in the opposition of the retrograde Saturn. And this points to power struggles within the country, and possibly over leadership and deep transformations caused by the war situation. And neighboring countries may also become more involved in the war scenarios, particularly with the lunar eclipse in the sign of Pisces, which affects Ukraine's 3rd house. Mars is also in the sign of Virgo in the national horoscope, in the opposition of the 3rd house, indicating tensions and possible aggressive confrontations with neighboring countries or diplomatic challenges. Let's take a short look for Israel. Mars moves there in the 10th house, in the sign of Gemini. And the 10th house represents the public recognition, the government, the power and the authority of a country. It is the house that governs national leadership and international influence. Mars indicates a phase where Israel may become more aggressive and assertive on the global stage. Mars brings energy, drive, and a willingness to confront, which can lead to a period where Israel demonstrates its power or defends its position in international affairs. And at the same time, we see worldwide protests and the desire for peace, and emphasizing that many people want to see the conflicts end and find a peaceful solution. And these protests reflect a collective push for a return to peace and stability, something that is also felt in Israel. And the lunar eclipse in the sign of Pisces, Israel's seventh house, which represents treaties, partnership, and open enemies, could bring unpredictable challenges and tensions in important partnerships, such as with the USA. It could also indicate a period where peace negotiations play a central role, as the need for stability and solutions to the conflict becomes stronger and stronger. Let's take a short look for Iran. For Iran, the sign of Gemini represents the 12th house. And there we have the transit of Mars. And this brings not favorable energies. Instead, it could empower the enemies. The lunar eclipse in the sign of Pisces signifies further aggressive pursuits in international and religious matters, with misunderstanding and delays. So we see a lot of things will happen in September. September brings us continued, intense, transformative energies. The world stands at a great crossroad. Above all, it is shaped by the powerful connection of Mars and Ketu. This rare combination with the lunar eclipse not only steers inner restlessness and the urge to let go of the old, but also challenges us to boldly take new paths. It is a time when deeply embedded patterns can be broken, both within us and in the world around us. So remember, every challenge holds the potential for transformation. We have the power over our lives. You have 100% power over your own life. But only a few people truly make use of it. And it all begins with believing in the power in ourselves. Use these energies to gain clarity and steer your life in a new direction. I hope this energy update has provided valuable insights and inspired you. Feel free to sign up for my weekly newsletter to better understand what these energies mean for you on a personal level. And please share this video with others if you think it might help them also. And I love you. Namaste.